going to start off with a couple of definitions. Let me get rid of this one right here. So, first definition is mindset. At any time, if you want to adjust, move, anything you want to do, move some words around to adjust this definition, feel free to do so. So, mindset, a mental attitude or disposition that predetermines a person's response and interpretations of situations. You
Nope,
good
good
with
to
it?
go. Yeah, I'm good with it.
All right. And then here we go. We got some growth. We got some growth mindset. Now, I wrote this down. I got this off the internet, but I don't like all of it. But it says the belief that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. So I personally would adjust this to say the belief that abilities can be developed, period. That would be my personal definition. But there's this one, there's my definition. So, what says the mindset coach on this definition?
I'm surprised that you're not agreeing with this definition because to me, dedication and hard work equals consistency.
It does. It does. But the reason why I stopped at developed is because I think that I can have a growth mindset even though it has not been developed yet. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just tipping toeing into the water. I don't know.
Mm,
What you think?
Um,
I
I don't. So you're saying you can have a growth mindset even though the growth mindset itself haven't been developed, or the abilities haven't been developed.
both. Like, so I've been at a as a counselor, I've been to a bunch of meetings. And
Sure,
as a counselor, one of the things they talk about is growth mindset, and
sure,
especially in education.
sure.
So initially I was like, I didn't necessarily have a growth mindset. I had a more of a fixed mindset about certain things. Then I was
Mhm.
like, hey, you know what? I need to have a growth mindset about this. I need to think other different ways about this. So I don't know if my growth mindset had fully been developed, or just the idea of the growth set, is something that I started to develop along the way, until it got to a point to where a lot of things in my life, I look at it from a growth mindset point of view.
So I would back up just a little bit,
Okay.
right, in this definition, because it doesn't say that it has to be finished, completed.
Mhm.
It just says the belief that they can be developed, right? And as long as I believe that they can be developed, now I'm opened to them developing.
Mhm.
But the other side of it is that if I don't have the belief that there can, then I'm fixed on a particular thing. So now on the other side, where you say, well, they don't necessarily have to be developed to have a growth mindset, sure, because it never said it needs to be completed. It's just
Mm.
said belief that it can be.
Belief.
Right.
That one word, the belief. I didn't focus more on the belief word.
That's all right.
It's all good. I like it. Um, all right, so here we go. I wrote down a couple of growth mindsets for the chat and for you and stuff like that. We don't have to go with these, but these are just some of the ones that, I think that there are a lot of different mindsets. I wonder sometimes how many of these can be lumped into one umbrella.
Mhm.
But they are growth mindset, resilient mindset, abundance mindset, learning mindset, scarcity mindset, victim, fixed, people pleasing mindset, servant leadership mindset, and ownership mindset. So those are just some of the ways that I've kind of broken down mindset. I think that there are a lot more. I think a lot of different things can be a mindset. I think that we are a people that have a bunch of different mindsets when it comes to certain things. And I think some people, ooh, I got a question, but later on. Um,
Okay.
Here we go. First question of the night. What mindset do you think people mistake for weakness, but is actually strength? It can be one of these, or it can be any other mindset that you can think of.
I don't, if I'm being honest, I don't really think people ping a mindset and believe that mindset is weakness per se. Sure, we can look at people pleasing, but I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe that people pleasing is a mindset. I believe people pleasing is a result of something else.
Hmm.
So it's I would if I would say something, I would say dependency, right? Dependency can be perceived as a weakness, but again, depending upon your belief system, there is a dependency that I need to have in the Most High. So that's why I say I don't really think that people think that a mindset is a weakness or any mindset is a weakness. I think what we do is look at maladaptive behaviors and then try to figure out where those maladaptive behaviors come from. That doesn't necessarily mean that the maladaptive behavior is a mindset. It's just a behavior. So isolate the behavior, root the behavior out, and then keep pressing with the mindset. But and that's just me. I could be totally
Hmm.
wrong, and people can see it differently. And I'm 100% open to that. But I just don't think that people mistake a particular mindset as a weakness.
Mm. I guess I guess maybe in this situation, people, if I 100% understand what you're saying. The way I'm looking at it is, if I'm looking at coach, and I know you said people pleasing wasn't a mindset. So something. I'm like, well, coach he's a people pleaser. And I'm like, man, that joker weak. You know what I mean? Always trying to help people, always trying to do this, da 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 da. Da. But at the same time, because of my mindset, I'm thinking this weak, but the reality of it is that's an honorable thing. That's a great thing to do, to have the mindset that you want to help people. So that's kind of how I was looking at it. If I'm looking at somebody, and but again, that also would be judging people. So there we go. Was that mindset, or was that more so me judging people? Maybe more
Well, I
so
mean,
judging.
I don't think it's really judgment until you pin it to a
Yeah.
particular person, right? But again, like I said, it's very difficult to consider a mindset and say that mindset is weakness,
Hmm. I agree.
because when you look at the different mindsets, I think they are necessary for whatever stage that a person is in their life. So when in their earlier stages, younger stages, sure, they may need to be more resilient, because they're flying by the seat of their pants. They're more risk averse. They're doing this and they're doing that and things of that nature. But then by the same token, um, mm, yeah, I don't know. I do
Yeah.
like what his divine appointment just said, though. She said humility might be one. Now,
Ooh,
me personally, I don't know anybody who believe that humility is one, but
that humility is weak, a weak mindset.
that some people can perceive or mistake humility as weakness.
Mm. Yeah, I like that though. Yeah, this is interesting. I'm excited to see where we're going to continue to go with this conversation. Um, how do you know when a mindset is no longer serving you?
It's a good question. Um, I think we have to first identify what do we mean when we say serving us. That would be a great place to start.
Hmm.
Um, and if my definition of serving me is hinged on what it is that I want, so forth and so on, then I also need to understand and unpack whether or not the thing that I claim that I want right now is the thing that really serves me, or is it really just serving my ego in that particular moment? And then in that notion, maybe I'm trying to thwart a mindset that is probably serving me more than what my ego is telling me that I want, and I want to lean in this direction. So I think when I look at this particular question, um, I don't think a person knows this until they get beyond it into another mindset to where they can look back and self-reflect. So it's like you can't see the forest for the trees. Like you're in it. Like mindset literally means that this is the lens that I'm seeing the world through. It is also the lens that I'm making judgment and decisions on. Well, how will I know when that mindset no longer serves me? I have to be out of it to be able to see it. So it's like, unless I am that person, I'm going back to his divine appointments point. And unless I'm that person that is ultra humble and ultra self-reflective and introspective and listen to buku, as they would say, levels of feedback from other people, then maybe I might be able to grasp it, but I won't. I can't tell. Like it's like saying, okay, I use this as an example. For
Mm-hmm.
a person who walks around calling themselves a strong person, right? We know that that's just resiliency, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I'm a strong black man,
Yeah.
sure. But while I'm saying that, I don't know that me walking around focusing on the fact that I'm a strong black man is not a mindset that's not serving me.
Mm.
Like at the end of the day, everybody
Yeah.
is resilient. Everybody, let me say it again, everybody is resilient. Some people are aware of it, some people are less aware of it. So me walking around saying it, I can't see that it's not serving me well in the midst of me saying it. It takes me to come out of the space that I'm in, be around other people who have a different mindset, so forth and so on. And now I'm like, that's interesting. I wonder what happened if I do that. Then when I finally get to the point of migrating into this new mindset, then I can look back and say, man, that just didn't work well for me to walk around saying I'm a strong black man.
So are you saying that some of this has to do with the awareness of the person? Like they
Sure.
have to be aware that the mindset is not serving them before they even get it, before they understand anything.
Well, they have to be aware that there's a better mindset that they should pursue. Then, when they pursue that better mindset and they realize that that old mindset that they had didn't serve them well, then it's revealed to them that hey, well, back then that wasn't good. But while you're in it, it's very difficult to see.
Mm. And do you believe that sometimes people can prompt it? You know, like if I'm just like coach, bro, like this whole you strong black man thing, bro, that ain't working for you, bro. Like, what's the results? Do you believe that that can be a starting point to the person adjusting or becoming aware of that mindset?
Sure, but here's the issue:
Okay.
when I have that strong black man mentality, I can't hear nothing that you're saying unless it sounds like what it is I'm saying.
There you go.
So I hear what you're
You go.
saying, but I would turn around and say, "Well, that's just your opinion. Thank you for sharing,
Mhm.
but no, thank you." That's the whole point. It's like you'll reject information that doesn't coincide with what you're believing. That's why I said that person has to be like super humble, right? You can still believe that you're a strong person, whatever you root that in. But by that same token, if I'm walking around announcing it like it's a badge of courage, that's something totally different. I am on the far end of the spectrum when it comes down
Mhm.
to humility. So now you're saying that, hey, well, that's not a good thing to say. Yeah, okay, for you.
Yeah. But I'm a
Yeah,
strong black man.
right, exactly. So that's a
I get it. Okay, okay, okay. I'm rolling. I'm rocking. I'm rocking. I'm liking it so far. Where we at? Got a question for both of us. Is there and this is for the chat too. So I want you guys to put you guys' answer in there if you have one. Do you believe that there is a mindset that you inherited from your upbringing, good or bad?
yes,
Uh-huh.
yes. I wouldn't say it's good or bad. I would
Mhm.
say that it is what it is,
It
right?
is. Yeah.
Um, that part I was just telling you about, that strong, personality,
Mhm.
that's one. The second one, I would say survival. Survival is a huge one, especially in our community, because when you look at like our parents, and it all depends on where you grew up and how you grew up, right? A lot of them, they knew how to survive. You used to hear a phrase all the time, rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, yeah, you seen that a lot. You seen mama go in the kitchen and make food when you didn't have anything. Like, where did you get that from? How did you come up with that? Where did you find those beans at, bro? Like, for real. Like, a lot of that was kind of like an inherent way of living, not necessarily understanding. Now, if it's like if you take people today and drop them back then, it's like they'll just have a fit. They'll just fall on the ground and start shaking because, like, I can't live like this. I can't do this. So it's like, yeah, survival is a mindset that I believe that was passed down to me. I'm talking specifically about me when I was younger because of how I was raised, and it's not a bad thing to say. It's not a shameful thing to say. It is what it is. That was the era that we grew up in. That was the cards that were dealt. Now, can I have an opinion about what could have happened? Sure, but that's not a good idea. It's not a good idea to voice your opinion about what they could have done and so forth and so on. Because here's the other side to it. Those same kids that you raised, they can also have an opinion about what you could be doing and right and so forth and so on right now. So that's what I would say right now. The big one is survival.
Ooh, survival. I would say that I inherited a fixed mindset growing up. Now, I don't know where, but I think that it may have came from, being told what to do. It's not another way, it's this way. Being raised in a church is this way. There was not a lot of options that I remember growing up for room for growth mindsets. A lot of things growing up were, this is how it is. This is how it's going to be done. And I believe that I definitely took some of that. And I know some of it is parenting and upbringing, but I'm kind of want to separate that part from, and I'm not saying it's wrong times. I think sometimes parenting can create a fixed mindset. And I think so because if you don't teach your kids to like think outside of the box, or you just tell them this is how it is, shut up, don't say nothing. I think that kids sometimes, we grow up learning that this is the only way to do things. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes it's not until we get older and we learn that there are other ways to do things. So I don't know. What do you think about that? And like I said, is that separate from, what I mean, from parenting and stuff? I don't know.
So let's back up to
Okay.
a previous question you asked. I think one of the things that we think is that a fixed mindset is bad. A fixed mindset is not bad, depending upon what we're talking about.
That's
Like,
true.
case in point, if like a child living in my house today, there is only one set of rules. You can think outside the box all you want to. But I tell you what, you better think outside the box of this house. That's where you get to think outside. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
Hmm.
it depends on what we're talking about. Having a
Yeah.
fixed mindset is not bad. Sure, there is only one way to do something in my house, the way I tell you to. That's
Hmm.
it. Right. But what are the lessons that are being taught in that? Discipline, responsibility, so forth and so on. So we can't, I think a lot of times what we want to do is just take a blanket and throw across everything and say
Yeah.
that blanket is for everything across the board. No, it's not. A fixed mindset is not bad when we're talking about certain things. You mentioned church. There is only one way, according to the Bible, to get to the Father. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You can say anybody can have fear however they want to see it. When you find it different in the scripture, please call me 555 555. You know what
Five,
I'm
five,
saying?
five, five.
Right. Please call me and share that with me. There is nothing wrong with having a fixed mindset when it comes down to certain things. However, on the other side, it is definitely wrong to have a fixed mindset when it comes down to other things. So it's like we have to pick and choose our battles. Having a fixed mindset is important for a child because a child needs structure, a child needs discipline, a child needs to learn responsibility. What does having a growth mindset per se look like to a child? Gentle parenting, because a child cannot digest a growth mindset at that young age. So it's like you're telling them to do this, and you got to do this. Like, are you doing this? And had you thought about this? I'm 5 years old. No, I ain't thought
Hmm.
about it. I thought about,
Yeah.
eat that cake and messing up them toys and leaving it for you to pick up because I don't feel like
Yep.
cleaning up right now. So
Hmm.
when you give me that level of responsibility at a young age, like I'm setting the conditions for failure, because when that child becomes an adult, that child is not going to be responsible. That child's going to expect the world to respond just like how they was taught, and it's going to be problematic. So you're setting that child up for a lot of heartache when it comes down to it.
Mm. I definitely like that. I like that. Let me see what the chat's saying. There's a couple of things in here that I wanted to bring up. Charlotte Jordan, most parents repeated the cycle that they were taught. I think that's we all kind of start off like that. Like
Sure,
I parented like my kid, like I was parented initially. But by the time I was in it for a little bit, I did some of the things, but I definitely made some adjustments.
sure.
Appreciate that, Miss Charlotte Jordan and Miss Lisa Keys. I experienced both, lived in the struggle, yet saw there was another way in in another environment, yet I did not understand the difference until many years. And that goes back to what you were saying, being able to see it, appreciate those comments. Here we go. Rapid fire for coach. Y'all ready? If y'all ready for coaching, do the rapid fire. Put a one in the chat. Um, we got these are ors. They're just or questions. So
Okay.
you ready? The first one, did I put them up here? No, I didn't. Growth or grit?
Growth.
I knew that. That was an easy one. Curiosity or discipline?
Really?
Yep, pick one. We can come back and revisit all of them.
At my age, curiosity.
Ooh, definitely want to come back to that one. Humility or confidence?
Humility.
Short term or long term wins?
Long term.
Silence or strategy?
Strategy.
Pain or progress?
Progress.
Self doubt or ego?
Really?
Self doubt or ego?
Do I got to pick?
Yeah.
I had ego.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I thought you were going to go with self doubt. Isolation or collaboration?
Collaboration.
Structure or spontaneity?
Structure.
Yeah. Comfort or chaos?
It's another one. Chaos.
Comfort. Give me comfort. I want the chaos.
See, I thought you said you had a growth mindset.
Look, like I'm doing these schedules. That's chaos. I
A growth mindset welcomes chaos.
Sometimes. Oh no, not mine. Not all the time. Curiosity or discipline? You said at your age. Why at your age curiosity over discipline?
No, because I think at the age of 51, discipline has been practiced for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that discipline has been perfected, but it has been
Mm-hmm.
practiced. I think at this age, the best course of action is curiosity, which leads to discovery.
Okay. I might be on your team with this. I think initially I wanted discipline, but I mean, like you said, we've been practicing discipline for so long
Mhm.
that now all of that, most of all that discipline stuff is just routine. It's just day to day life. That I don't even know if we even really think about it. Like I had to get up and go work out. It's like sometimes it's discipline, but it's just part of the
Well,
daily thing.
let's go
You
back
know?
and unpack this, right? Because
Okay.
remember, like Miss Charlotte Jordan, most parents parent the way that they were parent.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, you're pretty much repeating things that you learned as a child.
Yep.
Then when you got older and you had your first child, you pretty much did the same thing. And then you learned something from that child about you as a parent. And then you
Mhm.
made micro adjustments with the second child, maybe, right? Or the third child, or you just kept repeating the same thing, whatever. So there was a structured way of living that you had based upon the discipline that was instilled in you from a younger age.
Mhm.
Well, if you keep repeating the same things over and over and over again, you're going to get the exact same results. So if I stick with that disciplined lifestyle, I can predict what my future is going to look like. But if I change it and I become curious now a lot of other things open up.
Mhm. I like that too. Yeah, I like that too. Man, I kind of want them to see. I'm supposed to go to the questions, but I kind of want to do the would you rather. Um, Let me see. Cause I like that part first. Actually, no, there was another one in there that I wanted to touch on. Um, yeah, dig deeper into the chaos or comfort. Like, at 51, I'm figuring you ready to chill a little bit. You don't necessarily want all of the chaos and stuff like this, but it also may determine what you mean by chaos.
Well, so chaos and drama is not the same thing. I'll
Okay.
start off by saying that. Um, Comfort or comfort zone is where stagnation exists. And if I am looking to be stagnant, I'm not looking to push any limits. I'm not looking for anything to change. I just want to live a nice, comfortable life, routine, blah, 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 blah. But whenever you step outside of your chaos or outside of your comfort zone, it invites chaos, right? There's going to be some mental chaos, there's going to be some emotional chaos until you push through. Once you push through, the storm tends to quiet down, waiting for the next curiosity venture to hit you so that you can try to push through that again. So, kind of going back to the whole discipline thing, discipline and curiosity, right? The reason why I can't say comfort because I won't say discipline. It's not like discipline isn't already there. But by that same token, I am just disciplined enough to realize that being disciplined and comfortable is not a good mix. That's like that's like at 51 still drinking Kool-Aid the way I was made when I was a kid.
Mm,
No, that probably would not have been a good idea to continue to drinking it all those years, right?
mm,
But at some point I had to make a decision and change something. Well, when I changed something, when I first stopped drinking Kool-Aid, trust me, something was going on different in me. Like, man, I want some Kool-Aid. Well, drink this juice instead. But I want some Kool-Aid. Try drinking water. I don't want no water. I want some Kool-Aid. It's the same thing as adults. If I get settled in and very comfortable in the day-to-day grind, go to work, come home, watch TV. Go to work, come home, watch TV. Go to work, come. Man, that's boring. I'm just saying that is boring.
mhm.
So there has to be something to where I have to like in at my age, there should be more meaning to life. It is not about me being in the army for 24 years. It's not about me becoming a coach. Like, let's just be honest. Like, why did I become a coach? Like, why did I get those degrees? Just to say I got degrees? Like, so all of that stuff has to be the thing. So it's now looking for the areas to where I need to invite chaos in so that I can learn a lesson, learn the necessary lesson in the midst of the chaos so I can keep moving forward.
I can I get that. Yeah, I can rock with that, man. I like it. I'm glad you expounded on it, went in a little bit more detail, man. Definitely appreciate that. Um, yeah, I'm going to the would you rather. I just want to do that now. I don't want to wait no longer. All right, so would you rather? Here we go. First, would you rather of the night is, and any of them that you want to stick on for a little bit, that's fine too.
Sure.
We can definitely adjust or sit here on any of these questions for a while. Would you rather lose now to win big later or win small consistently?
Hey,
Hmm. Why A? Because it seems like if you win small consistently, you're eventually going to have the big win.
well,
But
that's assumption.
small consistent wins.
There are some laws that are at play that we need to understand, right?
Okay.
If we understand the law of sacrifice means that I need to be willing to sacrifice in the short term for something greater in the long term.
Hmm.
The issue is that we live in this microwave society and we get anxious. I need something now. I need something now. I need something now. I need something now. So we would choose the small, consistent wins because that's
Mm,
the dopamine trap, right? We get caught up into that cycle of self gratification with the small, consistent win. On the other side, if I lose now, well, that might hurt my feelings. I might be a little depressed, things of that nature. No, I got to get over myself, right? Once I learn to get over myself, then what I realize is that the law of sacrifice must prevail. That's why it's called the law. So if I sacrifice now, that means that there's a greater reward at a later point in time. And going back to what we talked about previously, the growth mindset keeps me rooted in that because I believe that in the end, or not just in the end, but at a later point in time, there's going to be a greater reward. So I don't get depressed or upset, disappointed, or complacent because I'm not seeing the win now, whether it's small or incremental, whatever. I don't push for the small win. Like I'm that type of person that even if I get a small win right now, I'm gonna give it away. Because if I give it away, it keeps my mind fixed on the long game.
I think the chat rocking with you on this one. I think for the most part, everybody is choosing the lose now to win big later over the small wins consistently. So that's good stuff. Next one. Would you rather be misunderstood or overlooked? Both. Go ahead. Take your pick.
Overlooked. I'm okay with being overlooked.
Overlooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, overlooked. Cause yeah, we always going to be misunderstood by somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd rather be overlooked. Would you
Mr.
rather start over or stay stuck?
Mr. TMI Tate, what's going on, brother? Definitely start over.
Hmm. So for me, I definitely rather start over. But I remember a time where I would stay stuck on stuff, stuck on stupid, man. I'm just like, I done went too far. Like bro. I ain't about to start over. We going to 10. I done made it to 8. I'm just like, bro, we ain't starting over. But that may actually go back to this. Small win 1, small win 2, small win 3. Then I keep going. Then I get to 8 and then I get stuck. When if I would have went to 2, no man, sell the vision, this don't line up, drop everything and start back over, I would have been good. So yeah.
Here's the catch to this, okay, if
Mhm.
I may.
Yep.
Starting over is not really starting over.
It's adjusting.
No, there's some lessons that you learned up to this point.
Mhm.
So if you had to start over, you still have the same mentality that you had at that point. So now starting over looks different than what it was when you first started.
Yeah.
So really, you're just like, it's kind of like a reset button, really.
Yeah.
And this is why you find people, and I use this as an example. You hear that this person, did this, and then they went bankrupt, and then next thing you know, quietly they've done it again because they're the same person who did it the first time. They just learned how to do it faster because of the lessons that they learned getting to that point. So
Mm.
starting over isn't really starting over.
Yeah. Yeah, because you should have a stronger mindset, a greater mindset. You should have learned some lessons in there and all of that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely rocking with that one. I think everybody else is on the same thing too. Would you rather say less or say more?
Say less.
Say less all day long. Less, less, less. I don't even go into this one anymore. That's an easy one. Would you rather take feedback from strangers or ignore advice from friends?
I'm 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 torn with this one as
Hmm.
I'm looking at it. First and foremost, make sure that you guys hit the like button. That's
Yeah,
all. I'm just gonna say that to start off.
yeah, and get ready
Um,
to write down coach's number.
would
No, it just might
would I
not be
would I
important.
would I would I take advice from strangers? Yes, but I don't think I can call a person a friend if I ignore their advice
All right. Um,
because my friends won't give me bad advice.
on purpose.
Sure, I mean
Hey man, hey bro, that whole black man empowerment, it ain't working from you, brother. But see, I gave you advice. I'm your friend. I love you, but
sure,
you stuck in that mindset that so you're going to ignore that advice from me because you already have that mindset that you're a strong black man.
sure, but again, not a good example, but
Not a good
not a good example,
yeah,
right?
because that ain't even
Because
really our
because
example
at the
anyway.
end of the
Yeah,
day, if I was that type of person, then 9 times out of 10, my friends would be those type of people. So the
absolutely.
advice that they give me would 9 times out of 10 coincide with my mindset,
That's
which
true.
means that you and I may be associates if you're
Hmm.
giving me that, but we wouldn't be friends, friends. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Like I definitely agree with taking feedback from strangers, right?
Hmm.
Because ideally, it may be, not all the time, right?
Hmm.
It may be non-biased, maybe,
That it may
maybe.
not be.
Maybe they may have an agenda too. So that's the other thing. So all advice isn't created equal. Just
I
because
agree
they're
with that one.
strangers don't necessarily mean that they have your best interest at heart. Maybe they just have an opinion about what you're doing, and everybody
Hmm.
has an opinion, and everybody's opinion isn't what's that word we tend to say when it comes down to professional. Yes, they're not qualified to give the opinions that they give. So
Mm,
that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. Would I am I open to take feedback from strangers? Absolutely. But it
mhm,
better be qualified, not just some random opinion. But then, like I said, I struggle with the ignore advice from friends because
mhm.
if I'm going to ignore the advice that you gave me, then how can I call you friend?
Yeah, I would be more on a take feedback from strangers because, like you said, I'm not. Even if I don't take your advice, I'm not going to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? You tell me, blah 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 blah. I may not like it. I may not take it, but I may not like it, but I'm not going to ignore the advice because I know that because that's coming from my friend that the advice and I have deemed this person as my friend, I know that the advice that they're giving me is from a good place, whether or not I like it or not. So I'm not going to ignore the advice.
See, and this is another point I want to add real quick. The
Hmm.
term advice, again, we've watered that down. It's just like we watered the term friends down. And
Hmm.
in the social media era where we look for hundreds and thousands of people to follow us and thinking those people actually care about you, they don't know anything about you. They actually care about you. They're following you because they like what you're like, whatever you're doing is serving them in some capacity.
Hmm.
That's for starters. But when it comes down to advice, another word for advice is wise counsel. So if my friend is giving me wise counsel, I have a responsibility to hear it out because ideally, I don't believe they will give me bad or unwise counsel. That's the thing. Friends don't just randomly give advice. And if they do, you might want to check the quality of your social circle.
Changing the definition from advice to wise counsel changes everything.
Hmm.
Like that puts a lot more things in perspective because yeah, if wise counsel is what advice means, that's way different. Like you said, it's watered down because people use advice. Oh yeah, I gave him some advice. I gave him some advice. Bro, you just bumping your gums and just giving me your opinion or perspective on some crap. You know what I'm saying? That ain't really wise counsel. You just bumping your gums. So
Right.
thank you for that because that's that's key. That right there is nothing and a freaking golden nugget, a late golden nugget, but it was still one right there. So, um, let me move on. Would you rather do one thing well or try everything once?
Do one thing well.
I wish I was like that sometimes. I try everything once, man. That's why I got 1,000 hobbies, but I ain't like super good at none of them. Like I got a whole bunch of them. Like I got photos,
Right.
right? Got a really nice camera, but learning how to do everything on the camera ain't there. Um, got 9 RC cars. Dig real deep into them. Absolutely, they break. I go get another part or go get another car. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I wish sometimes that I know it's mindset. And we talking about mindset and growth mindset. I don't know if I've developed that mindset to be fixed on one thing. I move, I shift, my I see kids in school, I see people lock in on ADHD. They're like, man, the child can't be still, that child can't learn nothing. I'm just like, bro, you realize that child know every single state, you know every single dinosaur, but you don't know that. That child can lock in on certain things. I haven't had developed the mindset or the ability to lock in on one thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, I can do it for a while, but I don't know why I haven't been able to develop that. The only thing that I've done was the military, but I got out and went back in on that too. You know, just like you. So,
I would I would say this. Um, and this is not directed at you as
mhm,
I'm saying this. I want to make sure that that's clear. In my younger years, that was my opportunity to try several things
mhm,
because I need to find the thing that I'm passionate about doing. Once I find that thing, then within that thing, I have to carve out my little certain section and I have to get really, really, really good at that one thing. That's the only thing that I can now say that I'm a master of. But if I have this over here and this over here and this over here and this over here and this over here, this over here, then I'm not a master of anything. I might be able to do a lot of different things. That's fine. And I might be able to, go, my homeboy called me down the street. I might be able to go down there and change his alternator for him. Somebody may call me around the corner. I might be able to go out there and, do some roofing work for him or,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But that's just evidence that I've done a whole bunch of things. But what is the one thing that I can throw myself at and give it my undivided attention and become a master at that? Because that's the thing. And trust me, if you are, and I don't want to just limit this to a young man or young woman that's listening,
Hmm.
right? Because this still works across the spectrum. I don't care how old you are. That's the thing, whatever that thing, that's the thing that you pursue mastery in. And that's the thing that people will pay you a lot of money for, and then you don't ever have to worry about inflation because you get to write your own check.
So here's where I think, I don't know where it started, but here's where I think, as I'm thinking, here's where I think here's what I think may have had something to do with this mindset that I have. Been in the military for 20 years and I was married for 19 years as well. And I have raising kids at a time. Everything that I did was structured. Everything was this, and this. Man, when I got out, um, I got remarried 3 years ago. About 2 years ago, all my sons, they was all out the house. So ever since I've been out of the military, I've made more money than I ever have in my life. I have extra time. There's a lot of positive things and a lot more free. There used to be a lot more free time. So I started digging into these habits. And then also growing up, I remember people saying stuff like, man, it's better to know a lot about a whole bunch of different things and know just good at one thing because you can do a lot more stuff. So I also remember hearing that growing up. And I think that that is something that I definitely did take maybe to heart and kind of apply to my life. And now maybe that has rubbed off over into my hobbies or something like that. Being afraid that if I don't learn this, if I focus so much on this, what am I sacrificing? What am I not learning because I'm so focused on this? And it's like, now that I've gotten, retired from the military and my life has changed and we're empty nesters, it's like now there's opportunities to do this. So I'm almost like a kid in the candy store. Like there's so much stuff to do in the world right now that I don't want to focus on one thing because I want to go and do this and I want to go and do this. But if I'm focused on this one thing, it doesn't leave me the space and opportunity to do a lot of other different things. You know what I'm saying? So that's why for me, I usually try everything once versus doing the one thing well. Now, have I done some one things well? Yes. You know what I mean? I went to school and did those things well, but that was just to get to a point to where, I can go and do a bunch of stuff. So do you think that, all of this, maybe I do one thing well, but maybe when it comes to hobbies or something like that, I'm just, like the kid in the candy store, and I'm just excited about being able to do a bunch of different things that I couldn't do growing up. 'Cause I didn't have no RC car. I'm about to beat my dad up right now, even though from the grave, I'm about to punch him in the throat for this. So long time ago, man, I got an RC car for Christmas. And he's like, "Man, you should let Milton Hardy, if you paying this, if you listening to this, you owe me a RC car." Now, that's my homeboy. We've been knowing each other forever. But my dad said, "Let him play with it." And I was like, "I ain't want to." He said, "Let him play with it." Man, we had a pole in the basement. He ran my car into the pole in the basement on Christmas Day, and I never got to play with that car again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now and I got RC cars I be playing, but then I like doing other stuff. So I don't know, man. I don't know what my question was anymore. But what do you think about all that
You,
fluff
you,
that came out of my mouth?
you're talking. We talking hobbies right now, which
Hobby.
is, yeah. Which is, if that's what you want to do, I mean, that's a
Mhm.
hobby, right?
Mm.
Um, but when talking mindset,
Mhm.
life right? Moving forward,
Mhm.
I think when it comes down to it, and again, this is just me.
Mhm.
I think it has to be the thing to where you find something and you focus on that. If you can focus on that one thing, you'll get really good at that one thing. That's why people go and go see people like lawyers and doctors and things of that nature. Like you can't go, you go to, you ever paid attention? Like, because I like to watch doctor TV shows, right?
Mhm.
You have doctors, residents, but then you have specialists. Specialists, in most cases, don't work in the hospital. They
Mm.
make appointments to do surgeries or whatever they need to do in the hospital.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is? Because the specialists make more money than the regular doctor because they have toned their skill into a particular niche. And that's the thing. When you can niche down your attention to one thing and focus on that thing and throw yourself at that thing, then you can call yourself a professional and a master at that thing. So, I mean, I got what you're saying about hobbies, and I mean,
Mhm.
I'm not speaking one way or another against a
Yeah.
hobby, unless you want to take a hobby and turn it into a side hustle. And I hate
Yeah.
to use the word hustle, but I know a person right now in Huntsville, Alabama, and his side gig is literally aerial photography with his drone. And he
Mhm.
has a whole business as a side hustle and makes a lot of money just by taking pictures of houses and giving them to real estate agents for them to post houses on what do you call it, the MLS or Zillow or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it works regardless of where
Mhm.
what arena you go with it in.
Yeah. Yeah, I get all of that, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate
Yeah.
that. I think that was the last one. Was the last one? Yeah, it was the last one. Would you rather? Moving on to a question. Thank y'all, chat. They've been chatting it up today. I see a lot of comments over there. Yeah, Lisa said yes to MLS, so she knew what she was talking about. Um,
No, she's a
what's
professional. I knew what I was talking about. That was she trying to say.
yeah, I seen her video when she. I just seen a video of her walking through like the woods or something like that. I was like, sheesh. That's gonna be somebody gonna be walking through with me in a couple years when I move states.
There you
And
go.
I get my land. Let's walk through it. Yeah. So what's the cost of the wrong mindset?
Time.
Ooh. Time. That
Time.
is one of the biggest ones.
Yeah. That's I mean, if you're talking about like what's the price you're gonna pay for it, time.
Yeah.
Like I think a lot of times what we tend to do is we think that we have time. I have enough time. I got plenty of time to do that or whatever the case may be. No, you don't. You're not promised anything. Like
Hmm.
you made that up in your mind. Um, your age, you're assuming that your age is a indicator of how much time you have left. But then you make it to the grand young age of 50, and then you realize you got more years behind you than you got ahead of you. And then
Hmm.
you look back and say, man, I should have did this. I should have did that. Coach and coach was telling me to do this, but I kept assuming that I got time. Man, I'm telling you, it's like at least once every other week or at least once a month, I'm seeing on Facebook to where one of my high school classmates passed away.
Yeah.
So when we sit there and assume that we have time, it's almost like you're playing Russian roulette with yourself.
Hmm.
So again, get out of the mindset that you got time to do the thing that's available for you to do now, because the only time that you have is right now. If you have a fixed mindset, you got time today to change that. First thing you need to do is make a decision.
I had thought about relationships, but then I think at the end of the day, that comes back to time at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? If you're in a wrong relationship for 3 years, yeah, it costs you a relationship. But at the end of the day, it costs you a lot of time. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I will go back over the time at the end of the day. Got one for both of us. What is a mindset that coach is currently working on? Here we go,
Um,
folks. This is the cheat code right here.
I don't know if y'all want this cheat code. It's not. It's like a compound thing. It's like how can I say it? It's like growth oriented. It's like growth oriented, purpose driven, empowering. If I can string all those together,
Mhm.
because that's the best way I can describe the mindset that I'm constantly working on every day. Growth oriented for obvious reasons, right? Um, Purpose driven. Again, if you guys listen to me, I talk about the Bible all the time, and I'm talking about discovering the reason why you were created and then focusing your energy on that. Kind of like what I was just saying, focusing your energy on that and get really good at that. And then empowering others. That I believe that the thing that manifests itself in you, like accomplishing things is cool. You get excited, pat yourself on the back, yay me. But when you get to empower somebody else to do something that they really want to do, and you see them start making strides and advancements, like that's better than getting a paycheck in the mail. Like you can't put an explanation on what that feels like to see, like, let's just talk about your sons. If they take your advice and do something you tell them to do or advise them to do, and they get really good or they achieve some monumental task or whatever the case may be, that feels really good. So when I look at it, it's like, how do I balance? And balance isn't the right word. How do these three things exist together within me, and then they know exactly when to be at the forefront? When does the growth mindset know to be at the forefront? When does the purpose driven mindset know to be at the forefront? When does the empowering mindset know to be at the forefront? All the while, whichever one takes the lead, the other one just kind of backs down just a little bit to support that one in the lead. I think that's the best way to describe the mindset that I'm working on now and have been working on for quite some time. And there's a lot of disappointments that comes along with it, if I'm just being completely transparent. But you have to learn to accept the good with the bad, take the curves with the straights, things of that nature. Simply because at the end of the day, if a person decides that they want to take time, I got enough time, you got to be okay with that. So that's the growth mindset aspect of it. You know how it was when we was younger. Fixed mindset, like, no, man, you ain't got time. You need to.
You get saved today.
Right. Okay. I get it. So that's it. That's kind of like the best way I can describe it.
I like that, man. That's powerful. Um, I can see, yeah, yeah, I like that one. Mine is kind of something that I kind of talked about a little bit before on the show, and that is listening. And I know it seemed like something simple and like, are you a counselor and you a coach and stuff like this? But I was raised by talkers. I'm from the generation where we had conversation, and being able to listen and not, and then and then I'm around, 14 to 18 to 19-year-olds all the time.
Mm.
And some of them are hungry for information and knowledge and stuff like this. So I'm always wanting to input my 2 cents into everybody else's business in life. And I need to work on that. So I am literally, my mindset is that you ain't got the answers to everybody. Sometimes you just need to listen. It's just more about just being a better human being to the people that I'm around in my circle, whether it's co-workers, whether it be coach, whether it be Gaddy or Roland or whoever. Being in the moment, listening, and just really listening to what's going on, not so ready to give my 2 cents to everything that coach got to say. I got something to say too. So, and I do got stuff to say, but it ain't about me right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this conversations, I believe that relationships work best to a certain extent when the relationship is about the relationship.
Mm.
Because when the relationship is about the relationship, like you said, the focus is not on me anymore. The focus is on, I want to have a good relationship with coach. So me paying attention and listening to coach, not always wanting to input my perspective or 2 cents into his life, is what's going to make their relationship good. It's going to what's make their relationship last. If I'm always talking about me, I'm always inputting my 2 cents into coach's life. You're like, bruh, Every time we talk, all you do is talk about you. You always got something to say about what going on in my life, bruh. Like the relationship may not last, but only for a season, you know. So I am in my age right now. I understand that some of us, including me, we're starting. I don't think I'm getting set in my ways, but I think there are certain things that I've learned, and this is just the way I'm going to do them. Like, and there's certain, like you said, certain things just gonna be a fixed mindset. Certain things we doing, and certain things we ain't doing. You
Mhm.
know, so on this journey, man, I don't know, man. I just think that I don't know. I like everything you said, and I don't got too much else to add to it. And then I just looked at the time, and that lost my train of thought. Master is renewed mindset. A renewed mindset. I like that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. My screen just jumped. Hmm. Well, I think that's about all we time got. But I kind of want to do one more. Man, I'm gonna go. Y'all mind if we go 3 more minutes? Go 3 more minutes. We'll go 3 more minutes and then we'll skip the actionable advice. How about that? You cool with that, coach? Fact or myth, real quick. All
Let's
right,
do
let's
it.
do it. Fact or myth. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Fact or myth. Let me get this out of here. A growth mindset means always being positive.
Myth.
Myth. Ooh, myth. Discipline is a mindset.
Fact.
Fact. Mindsets are set by age 30.
Myth.
Myth. Ah, I'm gonna come back to that one. Resilience is natural, not taught.
Myth.
Myth. All right, so this is the one I might want to stick on. Ain't got time, but you can fake a mindset until it sticks.
Myth.
So you don't believe in fake it till you make it?
Nope.
Nope.
You're only deceiving yourself.
You're only deceiving yourself.
That's right.
Well, there you go. We got a lot of myths and a lot of comments. Appreciate y'all, agent artists, Divine, Charlotte, all y'all. Appreciate y'all, Nick D. Um, Man, I enjoyed this one. I learned a lot tonight. I enjoyed being able to listen to you and get some clarity and different perspectives on some things that we talked about tonight, man. So I greatly appreciate you for this conversation tonight. And I know everybody in the chat enjoyed it too, because like it's a whole bunch of comments and they've been really engaged tonight. So again, I appreciate y'all for being here. Make sure y'all come in here on Saturday. um, I will go back and drop the link again in the chat. What you got, coach?
Hey man. Like you said, this was a great conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Anytime we talk about mindset, I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
But definitely make sure that you show up on Saturday. I think you guys are being for a treat. I think you really enjoy it. Bring a pen and a piece of paper. I'm telling you, you're gonna walk away with a lot of. I would not be surprised if you walk if you have like one of these little notebooks like this. I would not be surprised if by the end of the conference, the seminar, I would not be surprised if half of it is filled up. That's all I'm saying. So make sure that you're there.
Yep, and I got mine. I got my presentation up over here right now. I'm actually looking at it over here. I'm going through it today. Gotta
I'm
be,
in
gotta be on it.
I'm in the rehearsal mode.
You rehearse? Yeah, so I say I gotta be on it. I was like, yeah. So, all right, man. I think that's it. You can close out or want me? That's
You
it.
got it, sir.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate y'all for being here this afternoon. We will see y'all again next Tuesday for another episode of Coach's Corner. But until then, you can find us Friday night, Hearts of Men podcast on the Empower Perspective podcast, and Saturday, 8 p.m. I just dropped the link again, so you can sign up there. I think that's it. All
That's
right,
it.
we out.